What's going on, Solid Steppers? Miss Ward is coming to you from South Florida, rainy South Florida. Boy, it's been an interesting morning already. So what I want to talk about is the difficult aspect about appliance repair. And the reason I want to have that conversation is because, I'm one of those truth tellers. I talk to a lot of people that get discouraged because they think it's one way, and they get in and they don't understand the number of things they need to have in place in order to grow. So let's start with step one, the one-man shop. Now with the one-man shop, you have a special set of challenges because say you don't know what you're doing, say appliance repair is new to you, you're just getting in the industry, you're still learning how to do, to work on appliances. So it's a very delicate process. And that's why there's split schools of thought. There are schools of thoughts that feel like you need to go be a technician for somebody else, get hands-on because you have no idea what you're getting into. Particularly if you have any type of integrity, because you want to be able to go in and repair appliances properly. At the same time, you want to run a profitable business. How do you do both? You got some guys who, flip appliances because they really don't want to deal with customers. They pick up used ones on the side of the world. Everybody has a business structure, but at the end of the day, this is a capitalistic society. So in order to make money, there's some things you got to do and some things that have to be in place for you to be successful, whether you like it or not. This is just real world. This is what it looks like. And unfortunately, y'all, this is what it is. So with that said, what I'm saying is you really need to examine before you leap, because, appliance repair can be a gift and a curse. You can get into the industry, you can grow exponentially, you can grow quickly, but with all that means leveling up. You need to level up your business skill set. You have to learn how to hire, train, and coach people like it's not what people think. Now you got some guys, I got my business, I'm going out here making money, blah blah blah. Now hopefully those guys that's standing up, getting it done, hopefully they're investing their resources and the money's working as hard as they are. But the thing about appliance repair is you need to have the tools to do the job, and then you got to know how to use those tools. Like you have to make, in my opinion, I feel like you have to make smart moves at every turn. So one thing I'm always preaching is leveling up your skill set, whether it be the business side or the technical side or both. In most cases, people need both because stuff is ever changing. And with the advent of apps and just ways, tools you can put in place to make your job easier and to make it almost truly automated, but there's work you got to put in on the front end. And I don't think anybody, and I mean anybody, is very clear what that takes. I mean, you take me for instance, I just want to do a little something, have a little boutique appliance repair. Next thing I know, my stuff is blowing up. Was that my intention? Not really, because I always have aspirations and I'm always moving steps and goals to get to the next level of what's important to me. And I think a lot of times when people get in business, they get caught up in what success looks like to other people. If I wanted to, I can open up blah, blah, blah in every state, but do I want those headaches? No, I don't, because I understand that there are people's lives involved. You're responsible for making sure that everybody can eat. Like, this is real world stuff. And in this day and age, especially what's going on in America, you need to be geared in a position to get a part of that transfer of wealth that's occurring right before your eyes. Most people don't understand that we are in a time of change and revolution. And in order for you to be equipped, you need to be able to have a skill set in multiple areas. Like for instance, I always preach about IT, and the reason I preach IT is simply because that's one of the few areas you can go study, take some certs, and level up if you know how to navigate those worlds. Same thing with appliance repair. You got to navigate relationships, use those relationships to get you to the next level. I mean, whether it be with warranty companies or COD, either way, you got to choose your headache, because it's not going to be as smooth as you want it to be. You'll put a system in place, it'll be working lovely. Next thing you know, there's a hiccup because one of your business partners or the people you do business with, all of a sudden they had to change their game just to survive. When you understand what that is, you know how to move, and you should actually always see that coming. But you can't see it coming if you're not really paying close attention to the business. How can you pay close attention to the business if you're out here working on appliances 24/7? You know? Why is this guy backing up like somebody's not there? This is wild, man. Welcome back to South Florida. Y'all already know I always have road rage incidents in South Florida, because these folks, they be on some other... I don't even want to be out in this on Monday morning. Now I understand why I like being out of town. I'm telling y'all. Because, you know, like I said, it's a catch-22. No matter what you do. Trust me. But getting back to what I'm talking about, the difficult decisions you make, and the fact of being able to pivot when you got to pivot, even when you don't want to, because you're comfortable. And you're like, why should I change now? Why should I? And the thing is that things don't stay the same. They change. And if you're not fluid, you're not going to be successful. So getting back to the building blocks of appliance repair, you know, the building blocks that you need to be in to be successful and to be consistent. Number one thing is you should always be watching your financials. And you need to be able to make decisions that you can afford to make. Most people don't realize, as I always say, how much it takes to run an appliance repair business properly and professionally. Like, I've heard people say, you know, you got a couple of tools in your pocket, you can go get it done. Well, your getting done and my getting done look two different ways. My clientele expect me to show up a certain way in a uniform, prepared, equipped, iPad, laptop, whatever I need to have to show that I am currently in 2022 headed to 2023, if you know what I mean, when it comes to technology, and I have the resources at my fingertips to take care of their appliances. Now, that particular clientele also pays me a premium for that, but in order for me to maintain that image, there's a price for that. That's what I tell people. People always think you just get out here and do it and you look the part. I mean, you gotta know, number one, gotta know how to use the tools you're investing in. Rule number one. Number two, you gotta, like I said, you gotta be consistently leveling up. And that means developing your relationships with the manufacturers, so you have access to training, checking into the different places. You know, I feel like you should do a whole tour and do all the courses, all the hands-on training. Yeah, I don't care what people think. This is a fact, because everybody learns differently and everybody coaches differently. This is why I tell people, I definitely don't have to be your coach, but you got to find somebody and something. I don't care if it's you following somebody on YouTube and making notes. You do what you got to do till you can do better, because I think what you're going to find out is that 99% of this stuff, if you apply yourself, get the noise out of your head, you probably will do a lot better than you think. You know, a lot of times frustration comes into place because things don't happen quick enough for people. And that's because we done got this instantaneous, you know, we accustomed to everything on at an instant, you know. That's not real world. Real world greatness takes time. Development takes time. But the key is, if you don't have measuring sticks in place, it's a wrap. Meaning, you got to have something to measure. How quick are you turning these jobs out? How quick are you diagnosing? How well is your schematic reading ability? Can you understand the service manuals? Do you understand how to put stuff in forced defrost? To some people, this is nothing. Oh, I do that. But you got some people, they still out here guessing. And every time I talk to them, they like, well, Miss Ward, I know I got to do this. I'm going to do this. Man, stop telling me what you're going to do, because you're not impressing me. This ain't about me. It's about you. I don't want nothing from y'all. Trust me. Because the thing that people don't understand is I am a loner by choice. There is so much I have to do that I have to discipline myself. And the more outside stimuli I have, the less I perform in the areas I need to perform in. Now, until I get to a point I can multitask and do it all, until then, I'm missing. You know, you're not going to see me on forums. You're not going to see me on stages. You're not going to see me in Facebook groups, simply because I am busy continue to work on me and develop my craft. And people don't understand that you can actually pause for a moment in your life and really take care of you. And I think you need to understand that in appliance repair, at some point, you got to just shut everything down and take care of you. You really do. You cannot run a business and not be okay mentally, physically, spiritually. You're going to have to take the time, because these businesses grow exponentially whether you want to or not. Whether it's multiple phone calls, whether it's, technicians, issues, whatever it is, there's always going to be a demand. And the expenses be stressing y'all the hell out. That's what it is, but the reality is you got to figure that out. I don't care what you do, but find out what's going to keep you healthy, whole, and sane, and do that. If you're struggling on the QuickBooks side and you got QuickBooks and you look at it every now and then, but you don't quite understand it, don't feel no way about that. Everybody goes through that. Those of you guys that got a bookkeeper and accountant and you handing your stuff over and you ain't checking, I feel sorry for you, because it's coming. It's coming. When I tell you it's coming, it's coming. And I'm not saying that these people are embezzling and taking care of you. Taking advantage of you. I'm saying that you're in the power with every damn body else, and whatever systems they need to have in place to get you handled, that's what's being handled. And the more money you make, the more things you need to have in place, because people are counting your pocket like that's your money when it's not. That money belongs to the business. And this is just real life advice that I'm giving y'all, because these come from my personal experiences. I have multiple entities and multiple businesses, and at the end of the day, I am always concerned about the financial health of my businesses. I'm gonna keep it real, because that's where your stress comes from. You need to be able to pause your business for X amount of months and breathe if you have to. People talk about, get into appliance repair, put the money to the side, go on vacation every 3 months. Shit, I want to go on vacation every month like some people I know. I'm always cracking on them. But the reality is, when you are a one-man show and you expand, that's a different situation. Because like everything else in life, we got situations where we don't, God dang it, I just realized. That's why I'm sitting here now. I'm on my way to Marcone, and I just realized I don't have my paperwork. Thank God for modern technology. I got my tablet and phone. But that's what I'm saying, I'm right now trying to acclimate being back home for a little while, and I'm so ready to get back on the road. I don't know how to act, because I just realized how much I hate the congestion down here. How I really like my peace when I'm out on the road in those small towns and small areas. Because I spent my entire life dealing with this stress and this type of situation. But you got to find what works for you. But if I had never gone out in these other places, I wouldn't have found other spaces that I could be peaceful in and build in. I mean, this is life. And that's what people don't understand. You got to sacrifice on the front end to really get what you need in the back end. So I'm telling everybody, this is a cautionary tale. Take your time. Take your time. This stuff is not going anywhere. And stop measuring yourself by somebody else's success. I don't do any of that, because I can hold my own wherever I am. But I also have no problem spending time by myself and staying to myself and making those difficult decisions by myself. You follow me? It's never easy, but I meditate, I pray on it. I might touch spaces with some people for insight, but when I tell you I'm all about next level, y'all have no idea. I am so blessed in so many ways, and that's why I don't really talk that much these days, simply because half the people watching won't understand until they go through it. I remember when I used to watch Erica Williams, and she used to talk about how people would call and say, I got X amount of $1,000, what should I do with this? And she's like, you're really not in a position, even if I tell you, you wouldn't know what to do with it, and then apply everything after that. It's not what you think it is. And that you'll see, as people elevate and evolve, they step away. And they step away because they're in other circles and at different levels that vibrate differently. This is just real life. If you still hanging in the same circles, you're the smartest one in the group, you better get the hell on. because you are not growing. In fact, you sitting there, you sliding backwards, because the people you're surrounded with, all they're doing is leeching off your intellectual thought, your processes, and your systems, and they have none of their own. And time they get tired with that, they go into the next one. When are you guys going to start being in real reciprocating relationships where you get what you give? I'm out. Be blessed. Have a great day.